Hello, how are you all? Welcome to our second episode. And before we go into what we're going to talk about it today, it's not cricket for sure, right? So where are we right now? You're in my adda. What is adda? We all know what is adda if you're born and brought up in India, right? It's a place, a private place, or a secret place, or a place which is occupied with selected few friends who come and talk about random things and have a great time. So that's about it. So today we are not talking about cricket, but what are we talking about then? So let me give you an intro, right? Imagine you're waking up in the morning and a group of cops or police storms into your house early in the morning and arrests your 13-year-old son for murder. Can the beginning of the show be more gut wrenching? Yes, we are talking about Adolescence, the show, which is much talked about right now, I think for the right reasons. And today, to talk about it, I have my Bombay friend and whom we call Chote. He doesn't like it. However, before we comes on this, I want to welcome Newman De Silva from Bombay to talk to us about the show.
Should I just be on the whole thing like that?
Now, audience knows what we are getting into.
Yeah, every question you ask me, like I'll just be like,
It's like those. This is not like those cheap TV shows where you give two thumbs up for the show. Enough, Newman. Chalo. So, how are you, Newman? How's
I'm
Bombay?
good.
How's the heat?
I have a interesting name for you while you were introducing me on the show, and like you said, no, Newman De Silva. So I have a new name for you. You are podcaster Ravindra Kenchap. I think
See,
that I
only
think that will stick. That will stick.
now only few people relate to this, so let's
Yeah,
keep it that way.
yeah. Not everyone's gonna get the reference, but whoever gets it, and which is fine. It's not supposed to be for everyone to get. It's a little bit coded. But yeah, Bombay is good. It's hot. Can't go anywhere
Hmm.
because of
Hmm.
course the roads look amazing. It's a tough time for stand-up comedy.
Oh, this is your new venture.
Yeah,
If you guys are new here and if you don't know who this man is, he's not a dancer. He's not India's MJ. He's not, what do you call it, host anymore. He has started his new stunt. Can you stop moving? Your camera is getting stuck. So he started his new venture into stand-up comedy, right?
yeah.
And I think it's gonna be great. We
Let's
friends
see how
anyway
it's.
find him really funny. I hope we have a better version of Johnny Lever. Is it?
Yeah, Newman Kidney. That can be my name.
Okay.
That's a good screen
anyways,
name.
anyways, let's straight jump into the topic.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
So,
do it. Let's do
as you know, we are talking about 2025's release, Adolescence, which
it.
is on Netflix right now. And we are not talking about it because it's the thing right now in the market. We are talking about it because I love the show. Newman
Yeah,
loved the show. I think he sat one day and finished it.
yeah,
And it's been created by Stephen Graham. We'll
yeah,
talk about him later. And I think it's known for the right reasons. It's raw,
definitely.
real, and it's kind of showing a mirror to all of us where we are right now. So, did you watch it?
Yeah,
Obviously.
I like that. In fact, this discussion of me watching it is interesting because you texted me saying, "Hey, watch Adolescence," and I was like, "Bro, I already finished watching it because I watched the whole thing in one go. Like the show is one take. I watched the whole show in one go, man, back to back to back. I think, yeah, I think I watched it pretty much one after the other, as per what I recall, and I loved it. I loved it, man. What a show! What a show! And then, as and when things progress, like obviously we'll get into the details of it, right? But as the show progressed, and then after it released, kind of you get to know more about how the show was done, and I loved it. I mean, they have a few gimmick. It's a bit gimmicky also, right? Which is what we're going to get into. Like that's the uh,
Since you spoke about how the show was done,
yeah,
and since you're giving away saying it might be gimmicky, so
yeah,
let's finish off the technical aspect of it.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
get into the main crux of what we like the most in the show. So if some of us or some of you don't know how the show, what we are talking about is each episode is shot in one shot.
Yeah.
So there are 4 episodes, and each episode is one take, and it one from the start of the episode till the end. The camera is constantly moving in where however it's covering the story or characters. So before we see, there are many which has come like this, maybe like one or two which is shot in one take or one
Yeah.
shot. So, based on this show, what did you feel? Did you feel it worked, or it was just like any other gimmick to catch some eyes?
At one point while I was watching the show, like once I started watching the first episode, I was like, oh, it looks like it's one take, right? Like that was a thought I had. But I know a lot of times movies and shows have setups where it looks like one take, but there are like moments in the show or in a cut for other things where ki acha, if you know editing, are either like this is where they've switched the
Correct,
the cut or whatever, right? And
correct.
in this show, like while I was watching it, beyond focusing on everything about the show that was going on, I was also trying to figure out oh, where's the cut?
Correct.
And like there are points where the door, like where a door closes or something. I was like, oh yeah, that's a cut. And then
Awesome.
later on I get to know that there were no cuts and it was all done, like manually with camera switching, cameraman
So
switching.
from stand-up Newman to director Newman.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was trying to find the glitches, but nahi hua, like nahi hua.
What I like the most is obviously when I was watching, I didn't know it was shot in
Yeah,
one
yeah,
shot. I think somehow many people might find it gimmicky, but for me, why it worked is there are a few moments which we'll talk about it later. But then uh, it's the whole show has so much impact on you because of that. I feel.
yeah,
So
yeah,
because they go to, if Newman is talking right now, the way the camera is with you. Imagine
yeah,
it's like a fly which has come to the house, and
yeah,
fly
yeah,
is going to everyone to get
yeah,
capture the mood, and what is this person. So somehow kind of, for me, it becomes very personal. Rather than uh, I think that was one aspect where they took us inside, like it's happening around
yeah.
you,
You
kind of
latch
a
on to
vibe.
a particular character for a decent amount of time. Like in the first setup, it's the cops, and then it
Correct,
switches, and the longer it lingers with a particular person, you kind of get a POV of their process in that scene. Like the cops,
correct.
like I like that. What I liked about the cops was that for them it's just a regular day on the job. Like they're doing it
I
so
know.
nonchalantly. Like obviously it's a specific thing, and they have all the details which you get to know as things progress in the episodes, right? But for them it's just another regular day at the job because they're discussing like their personal lives before they actually get into breaking into the house or whatever. It's
Correct.
so like "Arey, kya khaya, kya piya," and then they're suddenly like getting into
I
the
know.
job. So it shows you a
Yeah.
nice kind of like in one moment you're chilling with cops, and in the next moment you're in the
I know.
life of somebody whose entire family dynamic is going to change.
Change.
And it's that one take. I feel like that kind of gives you a nice view into like there's so much happening in people's lives that you
Yeah.
don't know about.
Yeah.
So I really like
Like,
that part.
especially for me, see, the talk will have a lot of spoilers. If you have not watched, please watch it and come back.
It's a bit late
See,
to say that.
for me, for me, the first episode, the father is standing and seeing his son getting stripped,
Oh man,
getting
yeah.
checked, and the camera is literally on the father.
On
Like
his
nothing
reaction,
happening,
yeah, I love
nothing
that. I
happening.
love, I love
And
that.
especially currently, everyone wants it fast, like cut, cut,
Yeah, yeah,
cut, cut. Like this is there, just there, and the father is not even doing overdrive. It's just there, and it took
yes,
at least, I think that moment is at least for 2 3 minutes.
Yeah, easily, easily. He's like trying to
And
hold it together and be the man in that
he got
moment.
stuck. Yeah. No, exactly right. So for me personally, because they were there for 2 3 minutes with him, and he, you're observing how he is into what's how
Yeah.
uncomfortable it's making him.
Yes.
In my head, visually, it was already running. How they must be
Yes.
stripping, how they must be
Yes.
checking,
What they're
how the
doing
kid
too.
is. Yeah. So I feel there are moments like this. It really worked. For personally, you might call it a hot take. Personally, I think it didn't work for me in the fourth episode because I felt it became too much because too many places they were going, right. So they from the
Yeah.
house it
Yeah. Yeah.
starts, then they go to the buy the paint. From there, another the kids attack them, then they come back, then there is a scene in the house. I felt they were trying to finish off the show,
Yeah.
and it kind of looked forced for me, which I'll talk later, saying I personally felt it could have been two more episodes.
Yeah. Dude,
Personally, I felt.
same. Like when it ended,
Personally, I
so
felt.
I didn't know that it was only 4 episodes. So when the like when I finished the fourth episode, I was like, oh, okay, let's see what happens after this. And I was like, oh shit, it's over. And like you want more. Like I want more. I
Exactly.
want more into the whole dynamic of what's happening. So even I
Yeah,
agree
that
with you. Yeah. Two more
because
episodes would have.
I felt to give closure, they rushed it off in the fourth episode. So somewhere, and I also felt when they were doing, if you see, go back and see, there were shots you felt ki, it didn't make sense only for me. Like they were forcing themselves. For example, if I'm focusing here, forcing myself in the car to turn towards the mother, I felt that personally. Otherwise, it was good. Like I still feel, I don't know what people think. If you watch the video later, please put it in the comments. What do you think of this one shot technique? Did it work for you? Not work for you? And Numi, going forward,
Go for it,
we're gonna talk about this is my personal favorite character. I'm sure some for many it's father, mother, it's we are going to talk about Jamie.
bro.
The until you sent me that reel on Instagram, I didn't know that this was his first show
Yeah, it's
and he
his
had no experience before.
first professional acting gig.
Crazy, crazy. What did you think of him?
It's insane. So like I've read like watched a few other things. I mean, this is like those one in a million kind of opportunities that he was given. I think being like he's
Yeah,
a drama student is what the tag is. See, obviously now this thing of oh, it's his first acting gig, right? If you think about it, it could also just be good PR. A part of it could be good PR. Yeah, if you think about it, because that's how these things work as well. But regardless of it, like maybe he's done like ads and stuff like that. But I think this is his first big kind of gig. Like this is like proper television, right?
yeah.
Man, that kid is exceptional, exceptional. Like it
like
throws you
like
off guard. It's like where do you learn to emote like that, man?
I know. Like for me, that he's the perfect casting बोलते हैं ना कि sweet भी है और third episode में
Yeah,
उस
dude,
the switch
I was
happens.
scared, man. I was scared at certain points in episode 3. I'm like, oh shit, what's
like
happening?
like first episode only we get to know what has happened and why
Yeah,
and what
yeah,
whatever is. See, so the show is more about why you did it, or
yeah,
rather than who did it or something, right?
yeah,
We all kind of get it. But that guy was so good in the first episode. Second episode, I was guessing it's his friend,
yeah. I was. Even though you
the guy
see
who
the
gives him
video,
the knife.
you see the video of him doing it, but still in the second episode, you're thinking, ki, oh no, he did it because of his friends. Like you think, ki, oh, peer
It-
pressure and all of
thi-
that.
this is what I said, na? Like his father, like fourth episodes, he pleads guilty.
Yeah,
Till
yeah,
then, like the parents also, father is also thinking it might be not him, it's
yeah,
a random video, the CCTVs can be fixed. So his father only was convinced, with the kid कि मेरा बच्चा नहीं किया है ये.
yeah. This is like a full denial as a parent. Ki, like कर ही नहीं सकते. Even though he's also seen the evidence, but obviously as a parent, like you don't want to believe something like this. So
Correct, correct. Like
very
imagine his father sees the CCTV footage.
Hmm. Imagine
Yet
what
he
he went
doesn't.
through.
Yet he somewhere thinks, because फर्स्ट एपिसोड के एंड में बोलता है ना कि मैंने नहीं किया है, फिर से बोलता है वो.
Yeah, he
So
and like he straight up tells his father, his dad
हाँ,
asks him like, before they go into the video, like, "भाई किया क्या?" And he's like,
I
"नहीं
know.
मैंने नहीं किया." Obviously, he didn't say it like that, but
We see that's the thing, na? The way he's portrayed the character, somewhere makes you think that he is not the villain.
yeah,
It's,
yeah, yeah,
he's just क्या बोलते हैं उसको? He's just a symptom of what's happening in the society.
yeah. You sympathize with the child,
Correct. Exactly. Like
bro.
मुझे
It's
लगा
not
ना
his
कि भाई
fault.
जाके जाके हक कर दूं इसको. थर्ड
Yeah,
एपिसोड में
yeah,
you actually feel this guy just wants to be liked. He just
yeah,
wants to be
yeah. He just wants to be
loved.
accepted. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But see that so I and the broader angle is he also starts making you think how he can, if this guy gets doesn't get caught, he can become those, US में वो shootings होता है ना,
Yeah, yeah.
अभी
So this
school
should
में.
lead
So
to him becoming much
हाँ,
worse if he is
yeah,
let out.
like if he is let out, he portrays the character so well that 20, 21, 19 mein, he might be that guy who will go and shoot the kids.
Clearly, dude, clearly. You
So
see that in episode 3. You see that side of him,
correct,
which in the first episode you're like, no, no, acha bacha hai. But in episode 3, there's so much happening with his character in those 45-50 minutes where you're like, did he do it? Yes, he did it. No, he didn't do it. Oh, it was his friends. No, he did it. Oh, it's not him. Like this, like through the entire episode, you're going through just that.
so तुम्हें लगता है वो is he monster or a mirror to this, to all of us?
Through all of this, I would say it's just like going back to what you said earlier. I feel a large part of him acting up is just him wanting to be accepted.
Correct.
A large part of it is just that.
Yeah,
But clearly his friends were not the best influence as well, and also the internet. So
and the
I
social
think
media.
social media plays a very important role in all of this, because like even in episode 2, and it also shows like how social media is being used in a way like we use it, right? But like teenagers also using it, and the language they speak is completely different from our assumption of it. Like
Correct.
we have no clue, bro. It's a different world.
Like,
Like
yes, for imagine we are pretty much on social media, pretty active on different platforms. वो सीन है ना, वो कॉप का बच्चा आता है. He
where he
comes and
explains to me,
tells each heart. Bro, I didn't know till then that
dude,
yellow heart means this, white
I had
heart
no
means
idea.
this.
I had no idea.
This is like crazy. I thought red heart matlab like rest all heart are different colors. Am I stupid? I felt so
Yeah.
naive,
It's a
more than
different
stupid.
world. It's a different world. Like 100 meant something, and even 100 meant something. No,
I know. So this all the more this takes me to the fact that we have to speak about the parents. Obviously, we'll speak both. Like
yeah,
the whole idea of Eddie, the Stephen Graham, the great,
yeah,
and the mother. Why I'm saying we should talk about the parents is I personally felt, before we get into how Stephen was or they weren't bad parents.
not at all.
No,
Not at all.
like for example, there's a scene where father thinks बच्चा game खेल रहा है. Whenever he comes to the room or sees his son is playing games, but
Yeah,
then he doesn't know there
what
is
is happening?
hate going on, and certain things going wrong in the game itself, where he's chatting with others.
Yeah,
So somewhere, uh, I'm not a parent, I'm nor you are, so we don't understand maybe the how it feels. But then, since they're not bad parents, and the pondering over about what could else we would have done,
yeah, 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 yeah. Because
you
like
know
at the end of it, I feel like they feel like they are responsible for him acting out that way. But they also covered that there's not much else that they could have done. Like they were doing everything they could have as good parents. Like it's at least
Correct.
surface level pe to, like
Yeah,
like also a part of it is covers is that maybe you need to do more as parents, or even if you do everything, it's like eventually you don't have control, man.
Exactly. I feel that's where partially I agree. कि more कितना हो सकता है? I think
Yeah,
they're trying to say is the technology, the social media, the society is growing so fast.
so far because
However good your parents are,
the parents can't keep up.
like I said, no, बाप को लग रहा है कि लड़का गेम खेल रहा है,
Exactly. ये
but
तो
then
इसका
वो गेम के
सिस्टम ही
अंदर
चल
कुछ
रहा
और ही चल रहा है,
है। Yeah.
you know. So what I feel is, what did you think of the father, the Stephen
Uh,
Graham?
in terms of his character, right, the way he's portrayed and the way Jamie talks about him in the third episode is like more typical kind of middle class, working parent, not at home all the time, not very outward with showing his emotion, like very typically old school masculine. Not that he's not a good father, but old school masculine. So for his like Stephen Graham's character to show emotion, he is not conditioned only that way
Correct.
because his father used to beat him, like he mentioned, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
his father used to beat him. So he is done better than his father,
correct,
but at the same time, it's like typical like boomer parent, so to speak. Like
correct,
finds it hard to show emotion, is always focused on work, thinks that providing for your family is a way for him to show love and appreciation for his family,
correct.
as opposed to saying it out loud. I feel like that is interesting angle that they've covered. Like, and also
And
has a bit of anger issues. It's not really touched upon too much, but there is a hint of it
yeah,
that
yeah,
he does have a few anger issues, which towards in the last episode you see it happen.
correct, correct.
I don't
See
blame him. But
that's where I related a lot with, my own parent or father.
right, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
very
yeah,
old
yeah.
school of,
Yes,
the
yes,
way how things operate, and there's less of expressing what they actually feel or what they want,
yeah.
and
More of just providing a space, a safe space, as opposed to actually
correct,
saying how
correct.
you feel.
Correct. See, that's why I feel, maybe this is my personal take. Maybe because he is the creator and writer also,
Yeah,
for him to portray it so well. Because see, imagine when you started writing, you started living the character. They say, So
absolutely, absolutely.
eventually, like there are, like I'll tell you, my favorite moment of him was, other than that first episode where he's seeing his son.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's a great one.
that one. Even the last episode, may he's in that bedroom pondering over what could have we done,
Yeah,
you
man.
know
Oh, that's a heavy one. No? That last scene is
Eh,
heavy.
like it was like, the four episodes he's bottling it, and that fourth episode he just bursts out on the bed. I feel, what an actor.
What the heavy? He's a heavy hitter, man. He's been around for so long. Like,
I know, I sent you also, no.
yeah, man.
His supporting cast of, uh, uh, also the mother. I feel mother also we need to talk, because the show is so much about Jamie
Yeah,
and other players, and also father being around all the time.
yeah, yeah.
Somewhere mother, I feel, she keeps it to herself, like every episode you see she's there,
She's like a
but she
supporting
can't do
actor.
anything.
Yeah,
She
she's
can't
like,
do anything,
yeah, she's just filling in the gaps. Like,
you
again,
know
cliche boomer parent, no? The mother just exists in the background. Dad is in the
exactly.
front row. "Ah, मैं देखेगा, मैं करेगा, I'm
Mm.
man." And mother is like, "हाँ, चाय लेके आओ." Like that. That's literally this is the
I know.
English version of the same thing,
Correct, fully. like
which
like for
is
me like for me that, uh even again in the fourth episode, they get to know, right, in the car, you know uh, and he didn't know, Jamie didn't know that the mother is also there. He
yeah,
pleads
yeah,
guilty to mother. The mother starts talking. The first thing she asks is, are you eating well, you
yeah,
know
yeah.
so again they're trying to show, saying how she's there, part of the scene, but then the moment he gets to know mother is this thing, he wants to go off the club.
Yeah, and she's also very disassociated. I feel from that conversation because like she doesn't want to ask only anything about कि भाई
Correct.
तूने किया नहीं किया, like she
Correct.
goes directly खाना खाया क्या, like are you eating
Correct.
well, which is very interesting that like a lot of mothers are like that, where she also probably doesn't want to believe that her son has uh,
Correct.
done it, but
Like again, the fourth episode mein, they come back after getting to know,
yeah, yeah,
and she's the last one to enter, and that's the only time she breaks down, and she
yeah, yes,
breaks down for 2 minutes. Like उसमें भी पूरा नहीं कर सकते तुम, because you have to keep everything together, no, like a
yeah,
glue.
like she's the one who has to hold it all together.
Yeah. So then she says, she takes a deep breath and walks up to first see ki how is he doing. You
Insane.
know, brilliant, brilliant. I feel both of them were really good. Uh, so, however, talking about parents and him, we have to speak about the third episode.
Yeah,
I feel if people have seen Game of Thrones, there are episodes which people remember.
yeah,
Breaking Bad, there are episodes which it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
classic. Like for me, the Game of Thrones, that red wedding
Red
episode is
wedding.
still
Yeah,
classic,
yeah,
right? So I feel if ever the show is spoken about, people are going to talk about the third episode.
yeah. Episode 3 is it is the standout from the 4 episodes, and it is also apparently the first episode that was shot. So the show was not shot
Oh,
in chronological order. The third episode
crazy.
was the first uh, kind of shoot of the show, from what I have kind of picked up online. Not 100% sure of this, but as per what I have read and seen, uh, episode 3 was the first one that they ever
Then,
shot.
then all the more it becomes
Even
even more
more
brilliant.
gives credibility to his acting skills, bro.
I know. Like in the end where the psychologist gets up choked and she takes the bread back, she's not able to eat, she just goes out burst.
Yeah,
Literally, you feel the same.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah. Your
so
heart is
heavy that episode.
pounding. Yeah, dude.
Like I don't know how you watched fourth episode after that. It was so heavy for me.
Yeah, it was. It was.
कि भाई साहब ने like those schizophrenia होते हैं ना, with no disrespect to them, like once he is very nice,
Yeah,
once he goes mad, then he says do you crazy for
yeah.
a kid.
He switches so fast. I feel like I would say schizophrenia is the wrong term. The closer
Yeah,
term would be bipolar. I think
bipolar,
that's the
maybe,
closer. I
maybe.
again not 100% sure, but like because the extreme mood swings in a span of like 5 minutes. Like he's like
I,
two different people in a span of 5 minutes. That's like insane.
I know. Like even again another reel which I saw, which I think they only released, where he's talking saying uh they were so spontaneous, and in the moment he yawns, and she picks that up and she
Oh
asks, am I
yeah, yeah,
boring
yeah.
you?
It's
And there's a
improvised.
smile which comes, this smile comes on his face. I'm just saying it's so good
Yeah.
that it really crazy. So however, since we spoke about masculinity, social media, and these are the aspects which has been spoken in the show, what do you think the show is trying to say?
Take care of your children, man.
Or not have children? Oh,
That's
ban ho jayega, ban ho jayega ye.
can vouch for that. I can vouch for that. Okay. Um, no, I would say it is a kind of for parents who watch the show. I think like it'll kind of make them more vigilant around their around their kids. Hopefully, I don't know. I can't really say how kids who have watched this show are going to react, but because a large part of it is true. But yeah, I think it is like just watch what you consume, and even like beyond parents kind of watching what their kids are doing and what their kids are up to. I think it also kind of plays out to us. Just like watch what you're doing, watch what you consume. You don't know how it's influencing you. You don't even realize the kind of impact social media has on you, because I feel like it covers that in a very
Exactly.
subtle.
On point. I feel how much ever you do, it's not enough. The pace
It's
at which everything is growing,
exactly.
even the AI, like last week, that whole Ghibli, that artwork which is
Yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah.
trended on ChatGPT, the kind of, like, it took one artwork. by
One.
an AI, and the whole world is on it,
It's like the industry changed literally
including me.
overnight. Overnight.
You know, like it's so easy to get you onto something in this current, I feel. And I seriously feel, I don't know, sad for parents, that it's how much can you watch? Like, how can you watch them yet not come across very rude or
And
harsh
be
on
a
the kids?
good
Like,
parent without being overbearing, basically. Which is
how to achieve it? I
it's
don't know.
you just gotta
And
keep
also
your fingers crossed, I feel.
the best part about the show, I felt, was even the second episode. The kids are trolling the parents, sorry, teachers only.
Dude,
कोई
I
सुन ही
was
नहीं रहा है
boiling
किसी
through that entire episode. All those kids, I'm like shit. Because we have teaching experience, there are kids like that, like in schools,
I, I know.
and it's bad. Like even I have friends who are in the UK, right? And they work at in schools and all, and they are like, dude, kids are exactly like this.
It's so tough, man. It's so tough. I'm
You know,
like,
imagine being a
now,
teacher now, man. It's the worst time to be a teacher, I feel.
like, not even one teacher has been heard. Like, every teacher is trolled, every teacher is not heard, and every teacher is being made fun of. It's I don't know. It's scary where, uh, like, I was speaking to someone. They said, why aren't they banning phones in schools or colleges?
It's not
Why
that
are we
simple.
not? Sorry.
It's not that simple. ऐसा बोल के थोड़ी ban होएगा. I feel like it's not like no school has ever thought of not having cell phones. Like there's probably a reason why they allow them or why they don't allow them. But
The
it
coincidence is UK government has started talking about banning phones.
is it.
Coincidence with the show.
Or
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
should. They should. I think cell phones should be banned from like everywhere.
Humankind.
That's another episode, though. That's another episode.
How will people watch this show, Newman?
No, no,
Yeah.
it's all.
So I feel that best. Also, another thing I liked about the show, and about these aspects, especially the digital, masculinity, toxic, all these jazz. They're not trying to be preachy. कि ये मत करो, ये गलत है.
Yeah, yeah,
They're just showing how it's happening.
yeah. This is what it is, as
तुम्हें
is.
क्या तुम्हें लेना है लो.
Yeah,
Do you feel relatable? It's like so slow poison. कि that moment you might deny कि भाई ये क्या दिखा रहा है, but slowly it
what
starts
what
seeping in.
what what's your takeaway like from the like what is your main takeaway from the show though? Like what do you think
That
is the message it's sending out? Like obviously, like you just said, right? The POV is very neutral.
correct. I feel it's kind of showing that how, like you mentioned it also, uh, how complicit we are. Like
Hmm.
randomly liking, randomly sharing, randomly commenting, randomly thinking, कीबोर्ड के पीछे मैं कुछ भी टोन या मोमेंट से मैं भेज रहा हूँ, how it affects you the other side, we have no idea. And we are
Yeah,
thinking कि, like,
this is
that like it clearly shows कि this is what is happening. Like, I don't think, like Joe Rogan also says, if someone is nasty to you on social media, in person they would never be so nasty, because they can see कि तुम्हें कैसे लग रहा है.
yeah, I
यहाँ
agree.
पे, say, I think that's why you don't feel bad for no, bad, I mean, you don't feel anger towards Jamie. You don't
Yeah,
feel like that, because somewhere you are showing compassion, somewhere you are also angry, saying what is making this 13-year-old drive so crazy that
yeah. Like
he's
what is
going and
leading
killing
him
someone.
to that? Yeah,
I know. Like, finally, towards the end of the show, before we end up, I want to ask you, which is your favorite scene, and what do you think of, what is your final, like, if you have to give like those TV channels rating देना पड़ता है तो कि कितना
rating
rating
on
देना.
a scale of what 1 to 10 or 1 to 5?
1 to 10 gives us bigger margin to
Bigger
play.
margin. I think it's a fucking 8 on 10, man.
Not bad.
Yeah, in terms of rating,
Yeah.
favorite moment. Actually, I wouldn't call it a favorite moment, but it is for me. It's a standout moment, a standout character that we didn't speak about, but is the security guard in episode 3. the guy who lets the
Oh,
psychologist in,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy
yeah.
who's like
Did you find
overseeing.
him creepy? Did you find him creepy?
Dude, standout character for me. He was so good because he
I know.
made me very like uncomfortable because he was kind of flirting with the psychologist, but he was
Correct.
also doing his job, and
Job.
he was just giving her random pieces of information. Very, very weird gray area character, and I'm like, bro, what's his deal? Super weird cat. One of my favorite characters on the show, to be very honest. He's so
Again,
weird,
mirror.
so
Again,
weird.
mirror. Like if your sister or my mother or any of our women, when they come and share, this guy was trying to do this, and I feel this is what he was trying to. We actually sideline it.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes
तुम गलत
dismiss
सोच रहे हो.
it. This is one of those guys. He's just
Yes.
creepy from the get go, but like it's so
Yeah.
so. Honestly, that is one of my favorite characters from the show.
Crazy. No, 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 I didn't even think about it. But that
Yeah,
that second time when she comes also after
yeah,
that,
dude.
मुझे लगा ये हाथ डालने वाला है उस पे अभी.
Dude, he was so close to touching her. Like
I
I was
know.
like, "Ugh,"
Crazy.
she's like, what's
Crazy.
your favorite? Like, what's your takeaway from the show? Not takeaway. Like, what's your favorite moment? We already
Like I
spoke of a
already
few.
mentioned two, three. Uh, I think I don't know. It's very tough to uh, say which. Like personally, I liked uh, um, the second episode. May the cop has come to school,
Mm,
and this episode has happened. He has already spoken to Jamie. Now he's speaking to different class people, and
yeah,
he's
yeah,
told
yeah,
his son, "I'm coming." And eventually the whole episode he sees how the school is, how what's happening in the playground, what has happened the previous night with Jamie and killing, and someone is giving the knife, and towards the end वो बच्चे को खाना खाने लेके जाता है. you know More, maybe it's more personal for me. It's like that's all as kids expect from their parents, I feel.
just
Just
sure.
just you don't have to give us anything big. It's fine, I understand, bringing up gifts, valuable things. It's just about how are you. You want to go out somewhere, and
Yeah,
I'm here. For me, maybe it's more because of my personal moment types. That was so well played, but
yeah,
that by that cop and the son, and how that conversation emotion. It's so emotional moment, but it's not dramatic.
yeah.
Like
It's
how
yeah,
this,
it's a very emotional moment, but it's not like oh wow. It's just like a small moment
y-
between a father and his son.
how Bollywood does. कि इसमें
Yeah,
डुश
with
डुश
the
डुश कुछ
background
नहीं.
music and all.
And they so subtly speak about chips, Chinese place, and there's a fun element.
We gotta
That's
go to.
like other than I said, father seeing, son getting naked,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
mom breaking down. All these scenes are great, but again, these like your scene also now. If I think of third episode, I think all scenes like
yeah.
what
Third
a
episode is a
what a play.
standout in the show. I mean, that is something that will be talked about. Like we kind of
Yeah.
talking about. It is something that people will. It will become like a study of.
The only thing I felt, I would like how you said 8 out of 10. Even for me, somewhere it's there only. I felt personally, they should have, again we spoke about it now. They should have kept at least one or two episodes more.
More,
You
yeah.
know, taken their time to close it, right? And also somewhere, second thing is I felt Katie's story was never told. Maybe it's an
Yes,
intentionally done. I don't know,
it
because
is. It
people
is.
didn't want to feel sympathized. They don't want to sympathize with Jamie's character, like what he did was right, because there is that crowd, no, which justifies कि इसने उसीलिए किया because उसने bully किया types. But somehow I feel like the cop says, remember in the second episode, this whole thing is about everyone else other than Katie. We are forgetting
Yeah,
Katie.
yeah. It's and that is exactly what the show is also kind of like. The victim is always forgotten,
Correct. Correct. 100%. It's
which
always.
sucks.
I know. So I felt if they had come out somehow dwelled, a little more emotionally towards that, it
Hmm.
would have been like a top 10 on 10. But great man, great watch. I told Herman also to watch it.
What he
पता
said.
नहीं कब देखेगा. देखेगा बोला. बस.
All the best.
Nice. So this puts us towards the end of the show. And thanks for watching. Before we sign out, this is Newman De Silva. We'll be coming again and again, maybe to talk about other movies or TV shows and maybe some random topics too. And I just want to clear it out again because a lot of few people reached out. This is not a cricket show. This is
Yeah,
not
we
just
spoke so
cricket
much about
show.
cricket today.
But we will be coming back. The next episode will be coming soon on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll be reviewing RCB versus GT.
Oh,
And
bro, RCB support full on. Royal
who's the
Challengers
captain of RCB?
Bangalore.
Who is the captain of Royal Challengers, Newman?
It's not Virat Kohli.
Arre.
Correct. It's not Virat Kohli. It's the other guy whose name I
It's
have
very
no
smart.
idea.
It's very smart. You know GT full form?
What's GT?
The other team which is playing.
Gujarat Tigers.
Oh, you were there, but it's
Close.
Gujarat Titans.
Oh man, so close, so close. Dude, I love
Hey,
cricket.
so we'll see you guys soon. Maybe we'll want another guy called Andy Menon to join us.
No
Inshallah.
chance.
No
He's too
chance.
busy. He's
He's
busy.
too
He's too
busy.
busy.
He's become a celebrity.
He is a celebrity.
So we'll hope to catch you soon next week, maybe with another show or a movie which we would like to talk. And Newman's most favorite show is behind me. He loves that show. Enough
I'm
Newman's.
the one.
And thanks for watching. Please like the show, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. You know the jazz. And please leave in any comments which you want us to work on, or if you want us to address it in the next episodes. Nice. Signing off from the Adda, Ravindra Kenchappa and Newman De Silva.